Hello there guys, Daniel Childs back here again. Hope you're doing really well wherever you're watching this. And I thought, rather than just doing continued news, transfer speculation, and just reaction to stuff, let's do a bit more evergreen content. The new Chelsea kit for this summer is being released, and there's obviously a lot of opinions on it. I already gave my opinions when the kit was leaked earlier in the year, but I thought let's do a tier list. A tier list of Chelsea kits from best to goated to absolutely dreadful, the cluster fruitcake within there as well, because if there's one thing YouTube needs is more tier list content, because there just isn't enough out there, is there? So we'll go through that, and you as well can give me your opinions in the comments below. I've actually wanted to do this for a while because kits is something that I do think matters, and unfortunately, especially in recent years, I don't think there is much care going into them. But let's go through Chelsea history, Chelsea kit history, and I'll give you my thoughts. So let's set it out, different tiers. So we got Chelsea, Chelsea, Chelsea at the top. These are the goated, these are the greatest Chelsea kits in my opinion. Then we go to great, good, serviceable, crap, and then right at the bottom, cluster fruitcake. What were people thinking? Why are they still employed? We'll start off in the early 90s here with a few, I think, serviceable kits. We've got nice home shirt here, nice away shirt, yellow. We're going to go through several yellow kits, and they seem to vary in quality, just having a brief look here. I do like this white away kit. I believe it was the third kit here, with the collar, with the, was that like the laces, I think it is, at the top. That I really enjoy that kit. That's quite a nice, unique one. I think it just, that could go really bad, but the white, the red lines, the blue, I think it's a nice mixture within there. But we're getting our first cluster fruitcake, and it's this mustard, almost Borussia Dortmund-like kit right at the bottom. I don't mind the Dortmund kit, but not for Chelsea. They absolutely messed up there. We're going into another serviceable here. Maybe a little bit too much red, but it's okay. It's mid-90s, vintage Chelsea. But now we get into one of the most famous, most iconic Chelsea shirts, the Ruud Gullit shirt, as I like to call it. Not to try and have a go at him. It was just, I remember the image of him in it and Chelsea players were in it, because, of course, for years this was deemed, and still is if you look at lists like general Premier League kit list, this is deemed one of the worst kits ever produced. But among Chelsea fans, it has grown a cult status. I know, like, my brother quite a few years ago went out and got it from Classic Football Shirts. I've had it as a phone case. I feel like it's because its memory has lasted, I'm going to put it in good. And I know maybe this is going to be a bit of hypocrisy from me later on in the list, but I just think because it stood the test of time and it's gone all the way around to being liked, I think it has to be memorable, right? And I think that's a positive. We're going into one of the great Chelsea kits here, home kit, FA Cup winning kit. This reminds you not only of Ruud Gullit, it reminds you of Dennis Wise, it reminds you of Gianfranco Zola, Robbie Di Matteo. It reminds you of those players mid to late 90s when Chelsea started to transform with Ken Bates and the influx of foreign talent and that beloved Chelsea team. The kit that inspired last year's kit for Chelsea, I feel like this kit should go near the top. Do I like it more than the other? We're going to put this in great. I still think that's a great classic Chelsea shirt. It really is, of course. European heritage within that as well. Another great Chelsea home shirt here, auto glass. Right before, I think this was 2000, wasn't it? So JT was starting to come into the first team here. I think Ranieri had even taken over when we started wearing this shirt. But another great Chelsea shirt that saw success, so I'm going to put that there. We start to get in some really good, they've put two here, so I assume Auto Glass and Fly Emirates sort of changed, or the sponsorship changed during this period. So we've got basically two of the same shirt here. I'll go Fly Emirates because I like Fly Emirates. I think this is a good yellow away Chelsea shirt. I like the fact there's blue on it. It's just a nice design, and I love the Fly Emirates and kind of the more subtle Chelsea badge within there as well. So now we go, this is actually one of my favorite Chelsea home shirts that I still want to get. I'm still, but they are so expensive from Classic Football Shirts. So if anyone can hook me up with one that's less expensive, it's the collared Fly Emirates Chelsea shirt. But like this color range, like, as you'll notice with me with my favourite Chelsea kits, I am more, maybe I'm a little bit more boring, but I am, especially with the home kit, I believe it should be more subtle, more basic, trying to stick with the classic Chelsea colours, royal blue, yellow as well, obviously, is a colour you can put on there, a little bit of red, but try and keep it as simple as possible. And these kits in the early to mid 2000s were just like pumping them out like brilliant from Umbro. Classic Chelsea kits. I'll go with serviceable. Actually, I might put this one in crap. It's just a bit too basic for me. It feels like at the time they sort of lost interest and were like, well, you just put out an away kit, a white kit with some blue lines on it. Wasn't that complex. I feel like this is Now, this is a good one. Fly Emirates, black, blue. Nice design. I remember enjoying that kit. I believe I even had that kit at the time. But this, now we enter, this is the greatest Chelsea home shirt ever. 2003 to 2005 home shirt before the centenary season. This is Jose Mourinho's great Chelsea side. This was kind of like my first Chelsea kit that I remember having and cherishing on a Saturday, waking up, playing FIFA with that team, watching Frank Lampard score a screamer from 25 yards. You know, this was peak Chelsea, so this has to be one of the greatest Chelsea kits. And I think I am going to put the away shirt here, because in terms of peak away design, this one here, I am praying that Nike or whoever is designing Chelsea shirts in the future looks to emulate this away kit, because I know so many people who've talked about this in terms of it being one of their favorite ever Chelsea kits. The two lines in the center with, you know, very dark sort of blue, almost, you know, black sort of navy, and you have more of the classic royal blue. We saw this in the Champions League. Some great players played in it, but just design wise, again, it was not, it has that nice line of an away kit. We're not being silly where we're kind of ruining everything about Chelsea. We're not trying to implant like some sort of nonsense design onto it because we really want to be trendy. It's just a really nice balance of having a classic shirt, a nice clean shirt, but also with some design to kind of distinguish it from just another version of the home shirt. So I really love this one. As with this one, the black and silver, you don't see it in the kit, but there is some blue lines on this shirt as well that I love. So I think that's another great shirt. The centenary one, we're going through golden years of Chelsea. I love the centenary one again. Samsung is starting to come into Chelsea here. I love the gold. Of course, we go back to a more classic Chelsea badge, but the centenary year, I did enjoy this home shirt as well. This away one is more serviceable. Not sure how much like the lines are. I'm trying not to be too biased by how successful and great this Chelsea team was by just going all the kits were great, because I'd probably be just putting them all in. But there's quite a lot of serviceable shirts. We're now going into, we'll start with the Adidas home shirt, 2006, 2007. This is deemed one of the great Chelsea kits, and I agree. I don't think it's it goes in like God tier for me, but in terms of design, in terms of having the 3 stripes, I remember you didn't have footy headlines back then in the sense that you could see these kits months in advance. Like, it was for months and months, we knew Adidas were coming in, and to see the 3 stripes at Chelsea, and you had to wait. I remember waiting for that kit launch, and it was beautiful when you saw the kit, the design of it. The only negative thing was, I think at the time Liverpool had a similar design kit, maybe with just a collar, and the problem is it was a little bit more, we're starting to get into this transition where kits felt more templatey as they've started to, especially more recently, but still, I like the fact that kit was there for 2 seasons. And I think a lot of people, I still see it at Stamford Bridge pretty regularly because it's so good. I think the white away one isn't great because it just seems like a colour swap. I'll put it in good. The navy, sort of black navy one here with a little bit of silver, I think has some nice touches to it, but it's serviceable. We get into now a little bit more of the divisive one. So this kind of neon like you're a cyclist trying to warn other drivers. I just think this is crap, to be honest. I don't think it's a great shirt. I probably liked it at the time. That was a bad opinion from me. Don't think it's a very good shirt. It hasn't held the test of time. The promotion for it, you know, it's kind of like that scene in Toy Story 2 when Buzz at the start he's in darkness and his suit lights up. That's what it reminded me of, but not great for a football kit. I know people like Adidas, but there are a few designs here that look far too similar. Then we get into I'm going to go good for this home shirt here. I like the white collar. Again, keeping a bit of the gold. Serviceable, black away shirt. Not much going on there. This is a great Chelsea. I talked about yellow kits, right? This is one of the great ones. Under Gus Hiddink winning the FA Cup in this shirt. I like the simplicity. It was just a really nice blend. It was a perfect yellow shirt. Again, not messing around too much with it. And again, one of the favourites that we do see replicated again. The 09-10 shirt, I don't think it has the right colour, like sort of mixed to it. I feel like I'm going to be biased. I don't want to be biased. In terms of design, I don't think it's one of the greatest. I think it's kind of a little bit messy, but it was a great season under Carlo Ancelotti. We won a double in this shirt. I think it has to go in good. I don't think it's great, but it's not one of the worst Chelsea. Trust me, it's not one of the worst Chelsea home shirts. I'm going to put the next home shirt. We're getting the first home shirt in the crap section here. I didn't think this was great. It was a bad season as well. I just didn't. This shirt didn't really speak to me. Again, maybe being biased that we didn't win anything in it, but you know, it's my list. It's not your list. You can go and make your own tier list. Orange and black. It's serviceable. It's a little bit different. It's not just. It's got some lines on it. It's got a nice color. Kind of a mix we haven't had on this list so far. I thought that was a decent away shirt. This is a cluster fruitcake kit though. Too much like, you know, you want to avoid traffic and you're a cyclist. I just don't think it works as a Chelsea kit. I think they barely wore that one that season. Another conflicting one. I don't think this 11-12 home shirt is a great design. I know, again, we've got incredible memories. This is the kit they won the greatest night in Chelsea history. You know, it's a kit that will always be remembered because whenever we see that shirt, we're reminded of Didier Drogba heading in the Allianz or putting a penalty kick in. You know, you're reminded of one of the great memories in Chelsea history. But I think it is good. Again, I know there are people, if you want to be like really, really like design heavy on it, I don't think it's one of the greatest, but it does have very special memory for Chelsea fans, and that's what's boosted that kit, because I don't think it's one of my favourites in terms of designs. We've kind of got this techie kit here. I don't really know what was going on. It's like they didn't really fully commit to the light blue squares. I sort of think that's crap. This is a nice away shirt. Of course, again, was involved with everyone looks at this kit. They think of Fernando Torres running around Victor Valdez at the Nou Camp to get us through to the Champions League final. It's an all right kit. I think it's better than bad. It's not serviceable. I think it's a pretty decent kit. This is a good home shirt. Right after the Champions League, almost by coincidence, we have the gold Samsung. Lovely kit, lovely design, very simple again. You'll notice a trend, not a lot going on here, but I think it was just a really classy design and it really fit in historically with the fact we just won the Champions League. I don't know how much, I think that was a coincidence, but it was a nice shirt. This shirt here, I am going to put good because it's an away shirt again. It's got the stripe, which is kind of more of a classic, almost very classic football look. And all right, light blue isn't always great with Chelsea. It's more like Man City, but I do think this kit here is one that has enough style and enough flair and just feels a little bit unique as well, but not too unique where it looks like just insane that you wouldn't want to wear it out. Got I call this the Transformers kit. Unfortunately, the Transformers kit is going in the cluster fruitcake. It's got the abs on it. I don't know what it's trying to look like. It's trying to look like a Marvel superhero. I'm not here for it. Not a great kit. Now we enter 13-14, and you know what? This kit's going right at the top. And again, because it's very, very similar to my favourite ever Chelsea kit, Mourinho had just returned. This was knocking it out of the park. This is one of Adidas's, in my opinion, it's the Adidas best Chelsea home shirt. It's got that V-neck. It's got the white lines over the sleeves. It's got a little bit of design to it, like lines on the shirt that make it stand out compared. It doesn't just look like a complete rip-off of 0405. It's got its own flair to it, but I love this kit again. The white and royal blue, just absolutely perfect. This away shirt too, I remember having I think I had Hazard on the back of this one. It was nice again. You got the red line, you got the blue line, nice flashes again, and Adidas stepping up for this one. I kind of have to put this black shirt just in crap because it's just like we needed a different color. They need a third kit. Not a lot of effort put into it. I know some people will like the simplicity of this shirt. I just think I like simplicity on the home shirt. I think you have to do a little bit more for an away shirt, in my opinion. We get into the Diego Costa shirt, which for me is going right to the top. And obviously it's because it's the first kit Diego Costa wore at Chelsea and we won the Premier League title. I understand these lines going across rather than going down, going across the shirt, maybe a little bit more divisive. I did like the white line Adidas had that year above the name on the shirt, which I just thought was brilliant. I thought, again, they knocked this out the park. And we've got another great yellow away shirt that I had. I distinctly remember having Hazard on the back of this one. You got the blue collar. Again, very similar, almost paying homage to the 09 yellow away shirt, sorry. Really, really good. I just... Whenever Chelsea do a yellow kit like this, it always turns out to be really popular. I think we've got at least one or two more to go. We've got the 15-16, which is going to be... It has to be serviceable. I don't think it's awful, but I get PTSD from 15-16. 16-17, again, was a title-winning season. Not a great home shirt. it looked like a pajama. And I remember at the time people making memes about it being a pajama. And I have to say, I think it is. I can't put this in good. I don't think this is a great Chelsea kit, unfortunately. It looks a little bit too on the fake side, really. It looks like something you would buy at a market, or kind of, you know, when a template comes out or someone makes something that it just doesn't look like a genuine Chelsea shirt. That's the weird thing about it. So I just thought the design, it looked a little bit too shiny for me. Not a nice blend, so that's why it's not one of my favourite home shirts on this list. The away shirt here, I am going to give some credit to, though. I think it should go above. I think it should go in good, actually. I like the yellow, the mix of kind of the navy, the grey, the lines. I thought this was quite a classy kit that season. Now we move into the Nike era, which is the current era, but for a lot of people, not a great era. And I have to agree with them as we go through this is going to be quite brutal to end this show where we go through all the kits. So start off with the first home shirt. I actually really like this home shirt. I'm going to put this in great simply because I think for a great Nike, to just start a new era, there were concerns about what a Nike Chelsea shirt would look like. I think just keeping it basic, I don't think this is a bad first edition. I think this is a really nice Chelsea kit. I don't think it's lasted that long. It's probably just a mixture of Chelsea not doing a lot in that shirt. 17-18 wasn't a great season. But then on top of that, it doesn't really have a lot about it to kind of stand out because it is just very, very blue. It doesn't have a white collar. It doesn't have a white V-neck. It doesn't have flourishes that other kits do, which is going to make stand out sort of aesthetically. If you put them, it is one of the less obvious or less ones that stand out on this list for better or worse. Now we get into more divisive ones. This was the Sarri season. I've got to say this is more serviceable than crap. I remember actually quite liking this shirt more when I saw it in person, but the lines across the shirt, it's bold, right? It's at least they've tried something. They haven't ruined the home shirt, but it can't be quite up there with the GOATs because I think it does kind of make it stand out a little bit, not in the best way. So I can't put this as one of the best, but we are going to put the yellow away. Again, love for the yellow away. We've talked about why. It follows that tradition. It's slightly different. It's not exactly like 09. It's not exactly like 2014-15, but it's got its own flair. I do like the yellow away shirt, but we do have an absolute disaster here. I have no idea what they were thinking of doing. Maybe they were talking about the civil war amongst Chelsea fans that was about to come because it was going to be a cluster fruitcake. So it goes in the cluster fruitcake section. We have got the 1920 kit. I really like these seasons kit. We had the young players coming through. Frank was in the dugout. And I think all three kits, actually, I personally like the third kit most. I think the third kit with the orange, it was a really neat design. It was quite classic. I think it had the Nike, didn't it? Like the actual wording of Nike, and they did it for a number of clubs. And although it was a little bit templatey that year, I thought for Chelsea, they knocked it out of the park. So I really did like the design on this one. I also loved the design on this one where we won the Champions League 2021, wasn't it? And it had navy black on it, which is slightly different, but again it was simple enough. It had, of course, the free logo on it. There was a lot of memes running around because Chelsea kept on either scoring or conceding 3 goals when we started wearing this. But once that died down, I actually think this is quite a memorable shirt and quite a good one. And of course, like 2012, we won the Champions League in. I did like this away shirt too. Nice. Not much to complain about this, to be honest. I remember getting it. It was quite a nice pattern on it. Light baby blue, I guess you'd call it, with some black lines down the side. Enjoyed that kit too. But the Crystal Palace one, the salmon one, whatever you want to call it, is a cluster fruitcake kit. They just completely messed up. I remember at the time not being happy about it. Okay, we're entering the final stages here. So 21-22 home shirt is the one Chelsea home shirt. Well, it might not only be the one, but it's the first Chelsea home shirt going in the cluster fruitcake. What an absolute mess, a catastrophe after we won the Champions League. A mixture of a chessboard and a racing flag having a fight, and the PR people, the design people at Nike couldn't decide which one would dominate the shirt, so they just threw both onto it. An absolute mess. The away shirt, though, is yellow, and it's the first yellow one that doesn't have blue on it that I'm actually going to go for good. I thought this was a nice, classy design. I think they mastered it well. Yes, whenever you make a kit of this nature, you are going to get Dortmund ties, but it isn't quite as sort of jarring as the earlier one we spoke about. So I actually think this is pretty good. The Call of Duty COD ammo kit here for the third one is also a bit of a mess. They barely wore it that season. Not a good kit. We're into the Bowley ownership now. So the home shirt, I think this is serviceable. I remember at the time thinking that it's so close to being a really good kit. It should, maybe it's good. Again, it comes in a really bad season. I don't think it's an awful home shirt, but they messed around with the collar. If the collar was just plain white, it has a mixture of it. I think the argument they make is, or the sort of the PR stuff that came with it, was it had the Chelsea lion kind of cut up and mixed around in the collar. But I just thought it didn't need that flair. It was good enough already, and they kind of messed with it, which is why it's going down to serviceable. I do like this away kit though. As I said, it reminds me of some of the early kits we spoke about. The lines on the kit, a white away shirt, the light blue that doesn't really work on a home shirt but works more on an away shirt, so it is a little bit more memorable. The third kit is just a bit crap, isn't it? I just don't have really much more to say about it. It's one of those kits that people probably have forgotten already. Then last season, I'm going to go great for the home shirt. I love the respect paid to one of the classic Chelsea home shirts. The campaign for it was wonderful, marking 25 years. One that many of us have without a sponsor on, which, you know, really is a nice touch in the modern era, where I think it's just a really classy one. And I thought the badge, actually, they did some nice design things with it. It reflects, it kind of looks different in different shades of light, but I still think is a nice badge too. So I think it's one of Nike's best home shirts. The away shirt too, I think is really nice. It's got the nice lines of light blue on it. It's the right shade of blue. The badge again really stands out. I think it's a classy shirt that I think I'll be wearing personally for several years to come. So I thought the first and away shirts last year were really good. The third kit, Eton blue, all of that stuff. I mean, I guess I just call it serviceable. It's not a badly designed kit. It isn't mad, but it isn't that memorable. But now we get to this season's kits, and maybe you've jumped forward to just hear my opinions on this season's kit. The home shirt is the worst Chelsea home shirt that's ever been designed. People have tried to defend it by saying, wait until you see the proper pic. The proper pictures don't help it at all. And I don't think getting a sponsor on it is going to help it either. It's a complete mess. It's a complete insult. It is so far from what a Chelsea shirt should be. There's no... They'll try and spice it up that it's connected somehow to our history, but it just isn't. We've been going through since the early 90s here, even before then, when Chelsea shirts were a lot more actually basic. There's nothing in our history that refers to this shirt right here. It's a complete insult. And if you're going to do something completely different, you're going to put orange on the home shirt. No, absolute disaster. And it rightly gets its place in the cluster fruitcake section. What doesn't is the second and third shirt. I haven't looked at these as much. I do think the second, I want to see how this goes across the season. The second shirt looks serviceable. Is that kind of like a pink, I think it is. And they've done something this year with the Nike logo that's kind of twisted a little bit. Not sure what that's about, but I'm willing to give that shirt a chance. I actually think the best of the new shirts is going to be this third shirt here. It's kind of not exactly a white, is it? It's kind of almost a very light gold. But you've got kind of the badge with the orange on it. Orange is clearly a theme this year on the Chelsea kits and on the Chelsea stuff from Nike. So there we go. That is my tier list. Please let me know yours in the comments below. We've gone through a lot of kits there. What are your favourites? What are some of your worst ones? Do you agree? Do you disagree? And of course, your thoughts on this season's kit. Let me know in the comments below. And I will see you again very soon. All the best.